think that was after COVID. And I mean, with the COVID, it made everything easy for me, because businesses were already transitioning into the remote space, and everything just fell into place. So yeah, that's my story.
So another testament that COVID, which was a challenge for the world at large at that particular point in time, was an opportunity for you, right? So thank you so much for that. You mentioned Tribe, you went for an event and you heard about this, and that was the nudge that was required. I'm hoping that somebody is also going to get the nudge that is required here today, and the person would take a leap and do what is required for the future that he or she is expected to create. So thank you very much for that. Okay, my video is not on. Okay, so thank you very much for that. So we'll continue with the questions. If you have any question at this point, you can use the chat room. It is okay. We'll definitely attend to them at some point in time during the conversation. So now speaking to opportunities for students and also young career professionals. How can a student, NYC core member, or unemployed individual, or even someone who is currently employed but looking to earn additional income, how can they start? I know you've shared your stories of how you started, and you also mentioned that yes, the world has evolved a bit, so there are more opportunities than even more informations rather compared to when you guys started. However, today, every particular period is peculiar. So, how can they start? How can they start? Okay, I would like you to take this.
Okay, so for an NYC person or somebody that is just starting, I think the first point of call is to sit with yourself and take stock. What are the
Okay.
things you can do? Because virtual assistant is actually a type of business that has a very low entry. There's no barrier. It has nearly zero barrier to entry. So you can enter with anything because basically it is something that is innate in you already that you're giving out. So number one is take stock of what you are doing or what you can do. So the skills you have learned. Can you write well? Can you can you can you organize and manage things well? Can you handle a spreadsheet? Can you work with Excel? Can you manage social media handles for someone? So those skills, take stock of it. Then number two, that I would want you to do is to get to know the tools that make the VA work possible. So there are actually tools that you need, and these tools are free of charge. So virtual assistant is one job that you don't need money. You literally don't need. I started with absolutely nothing, just my laptop. No, I didn't have a laptop. My phone, actually, just my phone. So there are tools. So you're talking about Google Workspace. You're talking about Canva if you want to do creatives. You're talking about Zoom, how to manage Zoom. So some people need help managing, setting up this meeting and assisting one in this meeting. That's a skill. Then another one, can you set up a WhatsApp business? WhatsApp for business. You have the catalog part. Can you help people manage their stores online? So those are basic tools that you would want to learn, and they are all free and accessible on your mobile. Then number three, you need to be visible, and you also need to show proof that you can do what you say you can do. So number three is build a portfolio. So many times you might start with doing things free for people. I did. I started and I did that to be able to say, oh, I did this, oh, I can do this, I've done this for someone. So for some time, yes, you would go out, oh, can I help you do this? And as you are doing it for people, it's free for them, but you're building your portfolio and you're building your capacity so that you can show people that have done this for Mr. A, B, and C. Then number four is you want to set up a professional online account. So in as much as you're talking to people, right now, I'm meeting you for the first time. The next thing I'm doing, I'm going to go and Google who you are, because if I don't see anything impressive about you online, I really don't want to have anything to do with you. And I said have a professional setup because it's important. There are LinkedIn requests I actually get. I'm so sorry, but when I see the picture and it looks tacky, I'm like, if you can't pay attention to something as small as as in, I don't think you're a very serious human being. So it has to be professional. Put that out there. Put things out there. Say something online. Say something that you know online. And it's very important. Then number five, tell people. Start with your WhatsApp contact. All of us, at least you have 50 people in your contact. Just fashion a little message. Oh, I can do that, please. if you don't need my help, could you help me tell people that we need what I can offer? Just link me up and all of that. Tell to your church people, your family people, your alumni in school, your former colleagues. Just tell people. Then number six, show up consistently. You don't say today I can do this and then we don't hear from you till next week. No, every day, drop something that makes us remember you so you're top of mind when your need comes up. Then number seven, which is the most important, deliver well. You can do this, please do it and do it exceedingly. I did free work, but I did it as if I was earning so much. And those free work actually gave me referrals eventually. So yeah, that's the process. So little or no money, you don't need any money. Two things you need. You need a skill, you need your phone, and you need data. And I think the only cost is actually data. The only recurring cost is your data subscription. Aside that, if you do these six, seven things, you're ready to go. I hope that
Okay,
answers
so
the
thank you.
question.
No, thank you very much because
All
that
right.
just lays the foundation that should you have your phone and also you can incur the recurring expense of data, you
Data,
are good to go. I mean,
good
to
to go.
even start. So there is no excuse for anyone because I see a lot of youth on TikTok are just
Mm.
doom scrolling. And I can assure you that if you can convert that to something meaningful. So, Okeg's giving us the basic background of where to start so that you don't get scared. Let's take it a notch higher. Um, um, Mercy. So you have actually delved into. You currently serve the offshore market, and that is. I really don't even think you have any local clients, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, you don't. So you started out. I want to ask this question. When you started out, how much was your first client? How much is your first client paid?
Okay. So because like when you said it had really low entry background, so
Yeah.
I had to, and another point you mentioned, be out there. So while I learned those things that I needed, I had to create a professional account on Upwork. And the lowest entry,
Upwork.
yes, and
Okay.
the lowest entry or money you could charge on Upwork was $5 an hour. That's if you're coming
Okay.
in with no social proof, like she mentioned, and
Okay.
no portfolio. You haven't worked with anybody,
True.
foreign, and have the lowest amount was $5, and that was what my um um fee was at $5 an hour. And I was lucky
Okay.
enough, my first client, I think it was at 30 hours a week. So I was able to, gather quite a lot of money when I started. So it was $5 an hour.
Okay. So now, what do you charge per hour on
Oh, I'm
Upwork?
currently at $15 an hour on Upwork. But I do have clients who have worked with me and recommended me. For those people who recommends me, I have a special rate for them and do charge not I don't charge them hourly anymore. I create packages for them
Okay.
so yeah, so I have a
Okay,
system.
that makes a lot of sense, and thank you very much. So, this is just to show to people that you can start small, but that is not the end goal, right? But even if you're being paid anything basic right now, the fact that you're starting, it is tied to the value that you bring to the table. When Mercy started, then perhaps it was low skill when it comes to the virtual assistant world. But right now, the fact that she has been able to upskill, right now there is high confidence to charge higher per hour, and the higher she goes, the higher. And the longer she goes, the higher she'll be charging. So this is just to help people understand that yes, there is a journey to this game. Okay, now, Onyimalamo, to you, when you started, what was your entry point fee or your first clients? How much
Um,
clients
yeah,
pay
my,
you?
my first client hourly was around $7.55 per hour. So at the end of the month, it will be around say 120 or thereabouts, $120 per hour. So that was what I was charging for my first client at the time.
Okay. And what's the highest the client has paid you?
The highest the client has paid me per time is around $7,000.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. I just need to understand that quite well. And that's very good. And it speaks to the fact that there are a lot of potentials in this market that many youths are not leveraging at this particular point, even stay-at-home moms. And this is the essence of LBB. We want to inspire and empower women to be major contributors to the economic growth of their nation. So now going back to you, Oyinmalomo, what are the skills that are required in this business to serve the offshore market? Because I'm sure you can't just go into it and expect that, okay, they will just be attracted to you. What are the skills that are required?
Okay, so one thing that I would want anyone listening to have at the top of their mind is that businesses don't hire VAs because they just need a VA. They will hire a VA because they need a problem solved. So while their tools will change, I mean, there are a lot of tools and tools are coming out every time. The ability to solve problems will always be valuable. So if a young person wants to start earning today, if I was just starting to go into this business, I would focus on high income and high impact skills. So not just admin tasks. You can look into, say, communication and client management as a foundation. Being able to write simple, clear emails, communicate professionally, follow up, manage relationships. That alone, firstly, will set you apart because a lot of people have skills, but not everyone knows how well to communicate. And in the virtual world, communication is key because you're wondering, okay, I gave you this job to do and I'm not hearing from you. So that alone is a turn off. And oftentimes, the first thing people know is, say, calendar, inbox, project management. And the truth is, it still sells because even though there's AI, entrepreneurs are very overwhelmed. So if you can help them organize their schedules, you can help them manage their emails, you can help them coordinate their meetings, and keep things moving for the business, you would be incredibly valuable. So you do not need experience in quotes to be able to sell yourself in that way. And Okay mentioned social media content support, and the truth is many business owners need help with scheduling posts because they just want to focus on doing their job. They don't want to focus on all those other small parts of the business. So you do not need to be a graphic designer to start. Just little things that you do every day, especially if you're a social media person, you can always delve into that. And another skill will be tech and automation skills. We all know that tech is the thing now. So this is where the industry is heading fast. So there are tools that you can learn, simple tools that you can try for free. And so knowing those tools I don't want to start mentioning names so as not to, so I don't overwhelm you, but you can move from assist.
It's okay. Mention about 2 or 3. Overwhelm us.
Okay, for example, I and Messi were talking about Zapier or Make or Airtable. There are tools like ConvertKit, Mailchimp, Katra, CRM systems. There are a lot of them. So if you can know at least one or two of those, you move from assistant to operation support, and businesses love people who can reduce their manual work. And lastly, I would say this another skill that will be helpful is um, executive assistance and operations, because as you grow, the real money is often in operations management, is often in system setup, coordinating team, business supports, where the CEO feels like, okay, I have a partner who is working with me in this business. So that's the part I personally grew into over time. And my advice would be don't try to learn everything at once. You can start with one core skill and get good at it, work with real clients, then layer more skills on top. That's how you grow your confidence, and that's how income grows. And honestly, I think Oke mentioned this, that one underrated skill is reliability, and I think I mentioned that at the beginning too. So if you do what you say you will do, you communicate well, and you submit quality work on time, you already stand out in this industry.
Wow, reliability. And you can hear that if people say, if you should you tell a client that I will get back to you tomorrow, please get back to them tomorrow. So you're saying that that skill is very, very important. It is very important as it sets you apart from the rest. So, and I believe that is a soft skill, right? And it's something you can quickly make up your mind to have. It all only depends on you yourself and not even in getting on any platform to learn anything. So if okay, and also Oyin are saying that that is the most important skill that you need to start with, then I think you have everything that is required to start. All right, Mercy, over to you. You actually pivoted from um, just being a virtual assistant into even you delved into the tech space a bit, right? How did that happen? At what point did you evolve, and what demand led you into that? So I would like to know that. I would like to hear that part of the story.
Okay, so yes, like okay mentioned, you can literally become a virtual assistant and start with nothing. But then you don't want to remain there, do you? You want to grow. And so layering of skills. So what my first client was an HR, an AI automated HR platform. So I was working on the back end, giving out, writing out knowledge base. I was able to see, I mean, it opened my eyes to seeing what the back end of a software would normally be. And I fell in love. So then I had other clients, email management, social media management, and I'm like, okay, I can actually do this, but what if, can I do more of this? And the answer was yes, I could actually do more. I love things, AI, tech, and stuff. And the next phase for me in growing was automation, because now I'm able to see what the back end of software, like the architecture, like the fancy stuff we see, but the kind of like messy things I see. I'm like, okay, most businesses already use tons of softwares. Now, how can they communicate with each other? Because while I was, transitioning into that space, I had a lot of interviews with, businesses who would be like, okay, they are using Airtable, they are using Monday.com, they are using Go High Level, and sometimes this software can actually do the same thing, but they are not aware of that. So they are paying subscription here, maybe for task management in Trello, paying subscription on Monday.com for follow-ups, so when I came in, it was more like, oh, Messi, you're saving us quite a lot of money, because if this software can actually do this, then we can do away with this software or keep this software and make sure that they're able to transfer information whereby I don't have to always log in to check. So I'm always able to know what's happening in Trello. So that was the pivot for me. And because I already have an idea of how it works on the back end, it was easy for me to transition and build something that you will see on the front end. And when it comes to transitioning, please do not neglect or look down on whatever skill that you have. Trust me, when I started, it was basic, but then I was able to do it well because of the experience that I had already. Not working remotely now, working with businesses, on site in Nigeria. So please never look down on any skill that you have picked along the way, because even in what I do now, I still find myself referring back to that, because I mean it's building processes, and sometimes I am not even you know in the office where the companies are or the businesses are, and I have to virtually insert myself into there and say, okay, if this department is doing this, what does it look like? So and I'm able to do that because I've worked in a real company. I've seen how these departments would think and would function and would work, and I'm able to translate that virtually and make it come to life. So having using past skill and background would help you make your transition very, very easy and quick. So for me, that was how I was able to transition into what I'm currently doing now.
Interesting. So there is no end to this because perhaps by the time we'll be speaking next, Mercy could have probably just evolved into something else, right?
Yes.
And again, I hope to see you ladies building global structures because I can see the zeal, I can see the direction, and I'm so happy about this. And the fact that you even said that a tribe event that was organized just some years ago gave you the nudge, and it is not just about the nudge, it is also about the quality of person that is inside of you, right? What do you make of everything that you come in contact with and also the information you come in contact with? Some people will be at the same events and would hear the same thing and it will not translate to anything. But that's quite amazing. Thank you very much. Okay, back to you. You have actually served with some executives, right? Even in Nigeria. So you've had experiences with executives. So what exactly is the relevance of VAs or EAs to these executives? Because right, we are live streaming this on YouTube, and some of the HNIs or UHNIs might stumble on it. Perhaps they are
Okay.
struggling right now. They don't even know what they really need. Can we help them to identify the solution that the VAs or the EAs bring to the table?
Okay. So running a business, as we know, it's not easy. And a lot of businesses, you're starting as a founder, and then you're like, okay, I want to start lean. They preach do everything lean as much as possible, do all you can do. You don't have to have a big team at the beginning. So what a VA brings to the table is you have a second brain. When you said something like that, we make people feel like, oh, we are there to help them. Of which that's why I feel I was very good at this business. I love to support you. If I believe in your dream, I want to help bring that dream alive, and that's what the goal of every virtual assistant is to support you. So it can be in marketing, it can be in admin, it can be in tech operations. Is to assist you to help your dreams come alive. So if you are a busy founder, a busy professional, and there are some things you really don't enjoy doing, or there's some tasks that takes so much of your time and leaves you or takes you away from the core task that you're supposed to do as a founder, which is to move the money needle, go out, network, and bring that funding, get those collaborations that bring the money in. So what a VA does is to help you free up the time. So you don't need to market, you don't need to think of content to post, you don't need to think of automations and all these admin processes. Those are things you hand over to a VA that you can trust. You delegate. We're not saying that just put them on our hands and leave. No, you have the overview. You have task you want to do. You know what you want to do, but then you're like, okay, I want to focus on other things. You do this. And then there are systems in place that help you check, oh, did this person deliver? Is it to the level of excellence you want to deliver? Those are checks that I believe every business should have in place, which a VA could actually help you draft as well. You know that there are systems and structure and SOPs in the business that help you make sure that your service is is at par at every level. So that's what a VA does. We help free up your time, and we are that support and that that assistance that just helps your life easy. It just makes your life easy. And a VA also removes overhead. So you're not buying a laptop, you're not putting welfare packages, you're not paying for office space. So all of that cost is transferred to the virtual assistant. So you get somebody who can do all of this without you having to have that other cost, welfare, HMOs, and all of that. All of that is off the table. But then there's some companies that of it. But for an individual, those are things that are reduced because you're working with an individual remotely. I hope.
Hmm. Okay, so thank you. So it helps to free up time, and in our local parlance, they usually say that time now money. So that helps you to make more money. A reason being that you have more time to focus on um, more valuable things that can help you create a wealth for yourself. So I like that. And from what Mercy also shared earlier, she mentioned that the automations that she brings into the business help helps the business to reduce costs. So that's just another time. So we've seen the relevance of VAs in terms of freeing up time, helping you to create more time for yourself, to focus on bigger things, and also helping you to reduce cost. Okay, all right. Do we have any question in the chat room? Okay, I think I saw a question. I want to go, Kimotipolo was saying, I want to go into VA, but I need a mentor. Please, can one of the speaker be willing to guide me through? Shoot your shots. Okay. So what we are going to do, Modukwelua, definitely we give you access, right? You can reach out to us, ladiesbreakingboundaries@gmail.com. Ladiesbreakingboundaries@gmail.com. Just send your details there, and one of the we'll give you a link to one of the uh, experts that we have on the call today to handhold you, right? There is also going to be a training, which I'm aware that they are going to organize soon. And that training will give you the basics, the very basics. It is the how. What we are dealing here today is more about the what. It is the how you're going to get started. And for people who will be successful at that training, they can also be admitted into their spaces, right? Be admitted into the expert spaces so that you can also see their world. But very important, remember, they said a very key skill or key strength that you must have and you must display at every point in time is reliability. Are you reliable? Are you trustworthy? Right? And are you willing to go the extra miles? Because again, while trying to build a team, many people's fingers get burnt. And that is why they don't even try to delve into such kind of structure. But again, opportunities will continue to open. So after the training, I know that they are going to bring in some people who they can trust and who they also believe are reliable and are willing to learn into their space, their respective spaces. And that is what LBB is about. We will not just leave you hanging, we will help you through the journey. And we don't bring in people to come talk on the platform and then we leave our audience hanging, not knowing what to do. We will always help you along the line because your empowerment is actually very important to us. They are all members of LBB, so it's very easy for us to hold them and say, please impact our world. Okay, I see Esther Etienne says, I don't have any knowledge of VA and I'm willing to learn. What are the core requirements needed and the first skill needed for a startup? So I'm not sure Esther was here. You're going to catch up with the replay, but I would do you this favor. I'm not sure you were here when they addressed this, but I'm going to do you this favor. I will have Mercy treat that. Mercy, a question. I don't have any knowledge of VA and I'm willing to learn. What are the core requirements needed and the first skill needed for a startup? Could you please help us with that? Just in
Oh,
summary.
yes. Okay, I already listed out 7. But one of the if you don't have any requirements, sorry, knowledge rather. You said you don't have any knowledge, but let me tell you something. You do actually have. I have this it's more like a a how do I put it? It's like a 3 chord process that I developed. That's what I used to teach the people that I teach. The first one is, what can you do? The second is, do you love to do it? And the third is, can you do it well? Like, do you have experience doing it before, casually, professionally? And because it's like a Venn diagram, right? So the middle is where you want to focus on. For most people, classic example is if you like to do social media, or you like doing TikTok videos, trend, you know how to edit, you don't have any business being an administrative as a VA lecturer. It will bore you out because that you don't. It's not something you like doing. Now, if you are somebody who love writing, you're creative, you like short story, you know how to write short stories. If you do social media, it will bore you out. And trust me, being a virtual assistant requires long hours. So do you really want to do something you don't like doing? You're gonna burn out. So having finding out the first skill is reliant on you. This is what you need. Find out, what have I done in the past that I loved and enjoyed? Can I do it? If you find that thing, because when you're doing that, it kind of like strips away a lot of the, because there are people who have multiple skills. They can speak, like Mrs. Tinu, she can speak, she can coordinate, she can. So, but by the time she brings all that, put them in a Venn diagram, she's going to find that constant thing that she loves doing, she can do very well, and has done before. So that's where you want to focus. That's the skill that you would want to capitalize on. And I cannot really tell you what that skill is if I don't have a conversation with you. For a startup, the requirements you need, you can start with your phone, like okay mentioned. But I would always suggest a laptop, because we're not competing with people in Aguleba. We're competing with people in the US, in China, in the Philippines, and those people, they come correct. They don't say, oh, it rained and there's no internet. They don't give those excuses. So you just have to come correct, have a laptop, have a reliable internet. You can have as many backups as you want, but those are the things that you need. And the most important of those things I've just mentioned is be reliable. These people, they understand that we're in a third world country, and sometimes the internet fails, there is no light. They understand that. But we don't keep them in the dark and say they're supposed to say, like, no, they don't have that. They since some of them, since they were born, they've never taken lights in their house. So, but you are used to up NEPA. So it's your duty to always let them know, oh, please, I'm going to need more time to complete this task. Communication, like Onyi mentioned, let them know. They understand. They are more understanding. You'll be so surprised, but I'm telling you, be reliable. And if you say you're going to do something, you better make sure you do it excellently well.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Esther. I hope that answers your question. So we're giving just one person the opportunity to unmute to engage the panelists. Who is going to take that opportunity? So while we are waiting for someone to shoot a shot, I want to say thank you very much, Mercy. Okay, Esther is saying, I understand you perfectly. All right, great. Okay, so I want to say thank you so much, Mercy. Thank you so much, Okay. Thank you so much, Oyin Malomo. This is you giving back to the community, and we are so grateful for this. Everybody has a start point, and we also have a growth zone. And we thank God that you are currently in your growth zone with so much insight, so much experience. You are also able to impact the world around you. Okay, so I really don't think there is anybody who wants to unmute to ask a question, and that is okay. All right. So what we'll be doing, right? We have your email addresses. We're going to send you the link to the full event, to the full session. You can engage with it, and you can also reach out to us. We are currently on LinkedIn on Ladies Breaking Boundaries. On LinkedIn, Ladies Breaking Boundaries. If there's anything you've learned, you want to do some recap, maybe online or wherever, please remember to tag us so we can see you. And also remember to tag our panelists. If you want to connect with them, they are active on LinkedIn. Please connect with them. The names are straightforward. Mercy Moa. And we have Onyimalomo. We also have Oke Aribi. My name is Tino Phillips Odufuya. At this particular point in time, I think we'll be calling it a day. But before we do that, I just want you all the panelists to give us just a short take home for the audience. Short take home in 1 minute each. So let's start with, okay.
So I think what I would say is, as I said, nobody's coming to save you, and you have the power to change your life and to live the kind of life that you want. Everything is in you. And we've done this. We are a community. If you're not part of the LBB, please be a part of the LBB. We're a community that we help each other. We help uplift every woman. So no woman is disadvantaged. If you can speak English, you have something to offer. The sky is the limit for all
All
of
right.
us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And if you can speak English, you can start. Thank you. So now over to you, Oyi.
Okay, I think I'll just say be unforgettable. Like when you meet anyone, when you have the opportunity to interact with anyone, leave them with something so that they know that they can always recommend you. Most times, the best way to get clients, the best way to get opportunities, the best ways to get in front of people's faces is referrals, really. So, and that can only happen if you've portrayed yourself as someone who can be trusted. So it's important that because people can have skills and lack character. So that's character is what you should not trade with for anything. So your values, be be you know be on top of it. Let people know what you stand for, and that's only the beginning. You get better.
All right. Be unforgettable. How did I meet Oyin Malawo? Oyin Malawo was assigned to me by Wimbies as a mentee. And I would tell you, I saw the quality. She saw some things in me. I told her I also saw some things in you. And since then, she has been unforgettable. I can't forget Oyimalamo. Oyimalamo also served on my platform, I Rebuild, all the way from Ibadan, was supporting I Rebuild actively right here in Lagos. So also Mercy and Okay, right here in Lagos. And, it felt like she was present. So when she says unforgettable, you better take it. Be unforgettable. Thank you so much, Wayne. Okay, Mercy.
I
And
think
Mercy, please, in your recap, ensure that you also highlight some startup platforms that our audience can explore.
um what when you mean startup, what like where they can
When you
actually
started, you have Upwork, where the opportunities are.
oh, okay, where the opportunities are. That's one thing I love talking about. Do you know that opportunities are everywhere? Last week Sunday in church, someone who I have on my contacts recommended me for a job. So your WhatsApp status,
Interesting.
yes,
Yeah.
really interesting. TikTok that you like scrolling, there are businesses there. Facebook, I've gotten 2 clients from Facebook all the way from the UK. Instagram, trust me, there are a lot of businesses on Instagram. You will not even believe, but they are. There are people putting out requests for virtual assistant. And now with Meta AI, you could search hashtag virtual assistant, hashtag recruiting. It's going to bring up posts that has that. And sometimes we see the post like, oh, somebody's asking, looking for a virtual assistant, and maybe it's a long time ago. Sometimes the person might have left them, ask them, message them that, oh, I saw their post. So yeah, we didn't have the opportunity people have now. You can literally meet your clients anywhere in church, at networking events. I capitalize on that because of the kind of brand I want to build. On Facebook, on TikTok. When I launched my training 2 months ago, I got my first few clients from TikTok. So what are you talking about there? So, but if you're looking for like international gig, there's Upwork. I recommend it mostly, but right now the barrier to entry is a little bit higher because you have to pay some incentive fee to buy Connect and all that. But there's Fiverr, which is which you can start with. There's remote Africa. Those ones, there are startups there. So if you already have any form of experience. Let's say you've worked for like a company, and you have a CV, you can build a portfolio on that. Remote for Africa is there. There's Contra. I've just started using Contra, and it's amazing. There is LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a pool, a lot of opportunities that you can start as entry level, or even if you have any form of experience. So if you want to search for remote jobs on LinkedIn, you go to the search bar, you write remotes, hiring. These are, they call them parameters for search. You could also use the LinkedIn job as well, but you have to know your way around that. You select the country you are interested in, maybe the US or the UK, and search. Use the Boolean to search. There are a lot of opportunities, and my take home would be, if you say you are going to do something, I tell my children, if I did a mantra in my house, anything worth doing is worth doing well. If you say you're going to do something, you better do it well. That should be that's my take home. What I want to share with everyone.
So thank you so much. So you can
I can't hear you.
you hear me now?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, now. Okay, great. So I said that I'm very sure that the audience already got some invaluable information with this recap. You can get started. When they started, from their stories, they didn't even they didn't have this information. But right now, you've got this information. Ensure that you make do with it. We will try as much as possible to help you with some connect. But remember, just like we told you, that there's going to be a hands-on training, right? And that will be physical. I'm going to engage the panelists to confirm when this is going to happen. And you can also tell more people. And from what I heard, this market is quite large. It's quite large. And they are willing to train. They're also willing to bring in the serious ones into their space to help them get started so that they can be working on their projects together, right? And I believe that this is an invaluable opportunity. Thank you so much once again for joining us, my dear panelists. I'm so happy to be connected to you and to have you in my corner. At this particular point in time, we call it a day. Please have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good weekend.